Using the scaling techniques, we are going to take only important information which is necessary. So the whole scaling techniques has been divided into two, that is primary scaling technique as well as other scaling techniques. In order to make the information very simple, that has to be recorded in the research report. So that simplification or standardization of information is called as what? Scaling techniques. Hello everyone, I am Harshita, lecturer, Department of Commerce, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. My dear students, today we are in the 10th session of Unit 3 of the subject Business Research Methods, and the Unit 3 is all about data collection. That is, how the researcher is going to collect the data in order to do the research activity. So we have already discussed many concepts relating to this particular unit, and today we are in the last concept, that is, we are going to discuss about measurement as well as scaling. Now, what are the various resources or what are the types of data collection? So there was mainly two types, primary data as well as secondary data, and we have discussed all the sources relating to primary methods of data collection and secondary methods of data collection. So let us quickly recall what we have discussed in a previous session. So in a previous session, I have covered this topic, that is qualitative techniques of data collection. So there are mainly two types of data collection. One is qualitative method, other one is quantitative method. So quantitative method means what? The collection of data by using statistical or mathematical tools. They are termed as what? Quantitative collection of data. Now coming to qualitative collection of data, here the interviewer or the researcher is directly contacting the respondent and collecting the information. So we have discussed about it. Then we have discussed about survey method, a small concepts relating to data collection, that is survey method. And next one is measurement. Now what do you mean by measurement? I have already told you. So through primary sources or through secondary sources, researcher will collect the data. But whatever the collected data, that cannot be directly used in order to solve a particular problem, or it cannot be directly recorded in the research report. So it has to be simplified. So the information which are in excess, so such type of information have to be deleted, editing has to be done, coding has to be done. So certain excess information has to be erased or deducted, or if there is any requirement of additional information, that has to be retained. So such type of simplification of data, whatever collected by the researcher, so that is known as what? Measurement as well as scaling. Now what do you mean by measurement? Suppose there are 100 respondents, okay? So there are 100 respondents, and for a particular type of problem, many respondents have agreed. So for example, 75 respondents have agreed to a particular problem and 25 respondents have disagreed. Now, through scaling methods, we'll come to know what is the number of respondents have agreed, that is 75, and what is the number of respondents that have disagreed to a particular question. In that situation, so this numbering is known as what? Scaling. That is using the scaling techniques. So they are going to identify what is the number of respondents. Now we can't give whole 100 respondents each and every suggestion as well as a recommendation, correct? So we have to make it simplify, and randomly we have to make a summary of it. So the 75 persons have agreed and 25 respondents have disagreed. So what does it mean? In that particular situation, we have to take the maximum number or the maximum suggestions of the respondents. That is, here it is a positive agreed response from the respondent. So this is known as what? Scaling as well as measurement. Now ultimately after scaling, we will come to know the exact result. So that is termed as what? measurement. Okay, so we have already discussed and I have already told you we are going to measure in terms of numbers, symbols or any other pictures. Okay, so they are termed as measurement, and we have seen what is the good criteria of good measurement. So what are the criteria of good measurement? So these are the few concepts what we have discussed in our previous session. In today's session, we shall continue with scaling techniques. So first we shall see what is this scaling. Now I have told you whatever the information which has been collected. Suppose the researcher have taken 1 lakh respondents. Okay, 1 lakh respondent. Now if you see 1 lakh respondent, each and every response what is given by 1 lakh respondent is too bulk. Okay, so we have to minimize it. So we have to make a summary of it by using what? By using scaling as well as measurement techniques. So by making a summary or doing a summary of a more information or more number of information, we are going to make a summary of it, which is called as what? That is scaling techniques. That is, using the scaling techniques, we are going to take only important information which is necessary, as well as unnecessary information have to be deleted. Now coming to scaling, when a researcher develops a set of questions for his research study, he can standardize scales. This process is known as scaling. That is, in order to make the information very simple, that has to be recorded in the research report. So that simplification or standardization of information is called as what? Scaling techniques. So there are many number of scaling techniques. So that process of standardizing the information by using scaling techniques is called as scaling. The function of assigning numbers or symbols to the properties of the subject matter is undertaken by the researcher. This is known as scaling. That is, in order to simplify this sentence, so how we can define the scaling? That is, in order to make the more information into a standardized or a simplified form, whatever the techniques or whatever the tools which is being used, so that process is called as scaling. Now, let us see what is the scaling techniques. So, scaling techniques is a method of predicting values. So, here we are going to use the values, symbols or any other pictures like that. So, scaling techniques is a method of predicting values, symbols or attributes based on the specific rules that enable the respondent to proceed with a gradual change in the number of objects. So, you will come to know later what is this scaling is all about. There are number of scaling techniques which is been used in the research activity. So, the best example is that in the questionnaire itself. So, how each and every questions they are going to differentiate from one question to another. So, that is mainly done through scaling techniques. As we all know that marketing research relies heavily on measurement techniques. So, measurement techniques in the sense what? After doing this scaling process, whatever the result or whatever the summary what we get from that research activity, so that is known as what? Measurement. So, no marketing analysis is made without scaling techniques. So, in each and every marketing research, the scaling technique is very important. So, what do you mean by scaling? Scaling in the sense by using the symbols, numbers or attributes, we are going to standardize the information or we are going to simplify the information. Simplify more information into a less information, less important information. Now, let us see what are the types of scaling techniques here. So, if you go through this, you can clearly understand what is the scaling technique is all about. So, we have scaling techniques, under that primary scaling techniques as well as other scaling techniques. So, there are mainly two types. So, the whole scaling techniques has been divided into two, that is primary scaling technique as well as other scaling techniques. Under primary scaling techniques, we have nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale as well as a ratio scale. I'll discuss each of the type in detail. What is this nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale as well as ratio scale. Now coming to other scaling techniques, we have multiple choice or single response questions. So in most of the questionnaire they will use this type, that is normally all the type will be used in the questionnaire. Okay, so multiple choice or single response questions. Next is multiple choice or multiple response questions. Okay, next one Likert scale, semantic differential scale, staple scale as well as fixed sum scale. So these are the various types of scaling techniques. This is a very important question from the examination point of view. So they might ask what is scaling and what are the various types of scaling techniques. Okay, so let us go one by one here. Now coming to primary scaling techniques. Now what do I mean by primary scaling techniques? So this is also one of the important scaling techniques. Under that we are going to learn about nominal scale. Now what do I mean by nominal scale? So nominal scale are applied to non-numerical option. So remember this, nominal scale are used for non-numerical, in the sense the scale which cannot be measured in terms of numbers. So for that type of research activity, nominal scale is being used. So nominal scale are applied to non-numerical option variables. They are unique and different from each other. So they are different from each other and they are mainly applied for non-numerical options. Now under nominal scale we are having various types here. Now coming to various types of nominal scale, first one is dichotomous scale. Now what do you mean by dichotomous? So I have already discussed about it. Dichotomous means what? You will be having only two options, either agree or disagree, yes or no, within which the respondents have to answer. In the same way, if there is multi-dichotomous, in the sense what? The respondents will have number of options out of which the research respondent have to select. But in dichotomous, there will be no many options. There will be only two options, either positive one or negative one. That is yes or no, agree, disagree. Like one option will be positive, other option will be negative, out of which the respondent have to select any one of them. So this involves two mutually exclusive response options. So it involves two exclusively mutual response options. For example, the answer to the question will be yes or no. So I have already told you the options will be yes or no. So if they ask a particular question, you will have only one option to answer, either yes or no. In the same way, agree or disagree. So any one you have to choose here. And here also yes or no or agree or disagree. Such a response strategy may be useful for demographic study questions. So when they want to study in detail, that is in case of whole demographic area, so this type of dichotomous scale is useful. So if you see the example here, question, will you buy an LG refrigerator for home use in the coming summer? So what was the question? Will you buy an LG refrigerator for the home use in the coming summer? See here, what is dichotomous? You will have only two options. Either you have to answer yes or either you have to answer no. So both the questions cannot be answered. So only one you have to answer, either yes or no. Suppose if I have answered yes, in the sense what? I have agreed to that sentence or I have agreed to that particular question. So this is known as what? Dichotomous scale. Now next one is nominal with order. So I have already told you nominal scale means what? It is used for non-numerical questions. Okay. So which cannot be represented in terms of numbers. Under that we have learnt about dichotomous, where you will have only two options. One is positive option, other one is negative option. It may be yes or no, agree or disagree, such type of options will be given. Now coming to the nominal with order. So in this method, the options are arranged in the ascending or descending order. So remember, under nominal with order, the options will be arranged in ascending or descending order. So let us see an example here. What influenced you to use Colgate toothpaste? So, what made you to use Colgate toothpaste? So, your options are very good, good, average. Now, see, it is in a ascending or descending order. So, I have already told you. So, the options will be ascending or descending order. So, here it tells that very good in the sense the customer is very satisfied about the product. Next, good. Okay, so they have, it's good. Okay, so it is in a middle. That is not very good, not average. So, it is good. And the next one is average. So, it's the choice of the respondents to choose according to the ascending or descending order. So, they can just tell that, yes, I am using the Colgate toothpaste because it is very good. Okay, or they can answer, it is good or it is average. So, it depends upon the choice of the respondent. So, why? What is the purpose of using that particular toothpaste? So, it may be the choice. So, it left to the respondents to answer according to their wish. So, this is about what? Nominal with order. So, remember here the options will be ascending or descending order. Next one is nominal without order. So, here also they will give the option, but the options will not be in order. Suppose in the earlier problem it was in order. So, very good in the sense it was very good. So, they were using. Next it is normal one, it is good. Next is average. In the same way if we go on like that, so bad. Next is very bad. So, like that the options can be given. And nominal without order. So, here also they will give the option, but there is no order in that. So, a nominal scaling having no order. So, a nominal scale has no order is called as nominal without order. So, here there is no order for the respondents to answer. Example, which colored car would you like? So, here you can't tell that red is very beautiful or white is not beautiful. So, you can't tell that in case of ascending or descending order. So, here they have given just options. You can choose either white or you can choose either red. Okay. So, this is known as what? Nominal without order. Next one is, second type is ordinal scale. So, we have learnt about nominal scale where we had three types: dichotomous scale, next nominal with order and nominal without order. Now, coming to the ordinal scale. So, when a person purchases a product or service, he expresses his satisfaction by indicating a position. So, this position is measured by an ordinal scale. That is, so whenever a customer or a respondent purchase a particular product. So, what is his or her satisfactory level about that particular product? So, in order to measure that, we are using what? Ordinal scale. So, let us see an example here. For example, when a consumer buys a product from Janata Bazaar store, he is given a sequential number to indicate the quality of the goods. So, he has purchased some goods from Janata Bazaar, and in order to see his preference or in order to see the satisfactory level, so few options has been given relating to quality of goods. So, he can indicate number 1 for the best and number 5 for the very poor. So, now he can give however you want. Okay. So, if it is best, he can number it as 1. So, if it is too worst, he can number it as 5. So, like that the arrangement can be made. And here also see it is in the ascending order or descending order. Now, here best, good, average, poor, very poor. Now, it depends upon the satisfactory level. Suppose if the customer is very satisfied about the product, so he will give it as 1, in the sense it is best. Next, he can give it as average. So, the number 3. If it is 2, good. If it is 4, it is poor. Next 5, very poor. So, like that, in order to see the satisfactory level of a respondent, so this ordinal scale is being used. Next, third type is interval scale. Now, let us see what is this interval scale here. Interval scale is also known as cardinal scale. So, interval scale is also known as cardinal scale. It consists of a numerical format with the same variation in the successive units of measurement. Now, here what they are going to do, they will give an option where the difference of the options will be same. For example, 10 to 20, again 20 to 30, 30 to 40. Here, if you see all the options, the difference between 10 to 20. So, how much? It is 10. Here also it is 10. Here also it is 10. Here also it is 10. So, like that, the difference will be how much? 10. Okay. So, here it is having the same difference. So, what does it tell? Interval scale is also known as cardinal scale. It consists of the numerical format. So, it is in the form of numerical values with the same variation in successive units of measurement. If you see the first one and if you see the second one, the difference is same. Okay. Now, with the help of this measurement technique, researchers are able to get a better comparison between the object. So, in order to compare from one object to another, so this method is been used. For example, an automobile company which manufactures small car would like to survey to know the number of small car owners in the region to find out how many of them have become customers to a newly designed branded car. So, they wants to know, that is, automobile company wants to know how many members are there or how many customers are there for this particular company and how many are becoming the customers for the new brand. So, for this purpose, it adopts interval scale and determine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, here also the difference is how much? 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So, the difference will be 1 here. Numbers for research purpose, in these surveys, the interval between the two numbers have the same difference. So, this is known as what? Interval scale. Now, coming to the next one, ratio scale. Now, what do you mean by ratio scale? Here they want to identify the ratio. Okay. The ratio scale is good measurement technique. It consists of abstract numbers like an intermediate scale. It represents the appropriate action, classification and spacing beginning from the specialized 0 point. Now, if you see the options here, less than 40 kg, in the sense it will start from 0. So, less than 40 kg. Now, we shall see the explanation here. Here the comparison is made according to the acquired ratio. In terms of ratio, they are making the comparison. Next, for example, a commodity manufacturing company has been surveyed to identify the level of schooling among individuals residing in a particular area. It releases a questionnaire for this purpose. In it, it is told to identify the person's weight, which can be marked as follows. So, how they are going to classify the weight of that particular residents in that particular area. So, I have told you it starts from where? It starts from 0 point. Okay. So, here they have given the option less than 40 kg, that is from 0 to 40 kg, 40 to 59, next is 60 to 79, 80 to 99, 100 to 119 kg. So, they are going to terms or they are going to take the answer in terms of ratio. So, that is known as what? Ratio scale. Now, coming to other scaling techniques. So, we have learnt about primary scaling techniques. Under primary scaling techniques, we have learnt about nominal scale, which is used for non-numerical objects or non-numerical options. Under that, we have learnt many of the type like dichotomous scale, nominal with order and nominal without order. Next, coming to ordinal scale, interval scale as well as ratio scale. So, these are the things what you have learnt. Under ordinal scale, we are going to learn about the satisfactory level of the respondents. Next, under interval scale, so there should be equal difference between the each and every options. Next, ratio scale, they are going to ascertain in terms of a ratio. Now, coming to other scaling techniques, we have to discuss all these here. So, first we have multiple choice or single response questions. Now, here what they are going to do, they will give the multiple choice question where the respondents have to answer only one. That is known as what? Multiple choice. The questions will be in the form of multiple choice, but the response will be only one response. That is a single response questions. So, in this, multiple choice answers are given to a single question. A question will be asked, in the same way multiple choice questions will be given. The respondents can select one answer to show their preference. So here the respondents have a chance to answer only one. This type of opinion survey is quite common in research. So this is common in research. Even in many of the competitive exams also, they tell us to select any one answer. So for example, which newspaper do you read frequently to know about the financial matters? So this is a question. Now here the respondents have given lot of options, out of which any one of them has to be selected by the respondents. For example, here Financial Express. So only one answer. So this is known as what? Multiple choice single response questions. The questions will be like multiple choice questions, but the respondent have to answer only one answer. So it is called as single response questions. Now coming to the next one, multiple choice, multiple response scale. Now here the questions will be asked in terms of multiple choice, but the respondents have to answer not only one answer, so multiple answers can be given. This method is also known as checklist method. So this multiple choice, multiple response scale is also known as checklist method. In this, the respondent has choice to select. So they have choice to select more than one alternative answer to express their opinion. So here, like single multiple choice, single response, they had only one option to answer. Here we have lot of options, at the same time lot of answers can be given. So more than one answers can also be given here. So it is termed as multiple choice, multiple response scale. So for example, while buying motor car, which source do you contact for information? Now see, while buying motor car, so which source do you refer for information? So they have given the options. So you can answer more than one answer here. Suppose company sales or sales representative or others, like that you can answer here. So they are termed as what? Multiple choice or multiple response scale. Now coming to the next one, Likert scale. Very important topic here, that is Likert scale. So this method consists of various statements to facilitate an information to express his consent or disconsent about a subject. Now here, under Likert scale, here the respondents is given an option to tell their consent, to give their consent or disconsent about a particular topic. So in this, the marks of the respondent help to compare the marks for the model group. Now in order to make it easier, so what they are going to do, they will give number of options, out of which they have to, or it can be measured in terms of numbers. So it assists manager when a firm decides to undertake a new experiment, then devises a change program or decides to incorporate new progress. Now when they are going for something new, then this type of Likert scale will be applied. The Likert scale consists of two parts. So it will be having two parts. See here. So you will be having two parts here. One is this and the other one is this part. They are content part. Now this first row is what? It is content part, and next one is evaluation part. So the second row is evaluation part. For example, the internet is better than traditional libraries for comprehensive explorations. Now how they have given? Now this is the content part and this one is evaluation part. Now how they are going to evaluate? Strongly agree. So the number given is 5. Agree 4, agree or disagree 3, disagree true, strongly disagree 1. So based on the preference or based on the opinion about the respondents, even the number is been given, which is called as evaluation part. So suppose the respondent is agree or disagree, then the evaluation part is 3. In the same way, if it is agree, evaluation part is 4. So this is known as what? Likert scale, where for the opinion, they will give or they will assign the numbers. So that is known as what? Likert scale. Next one is semantic differential scale. Now, a semantic differential scale is a survey or questionnaire rating scale that asks the respondent to rate a product, company, brand or any other entity within the frame of multi-point rating option. So, how they are going to decide here? Using the multi-point rating option. So, they may select about a product, that is respondents' opinion about a product or a company or a brand or any other entity within the frame of multi-point rating option. These survey rating or answers options are quite opposite adjectives at each end. For example, satisfied, unsatisfied, agree, disagree, yes, no, etc. So, such type of is known as what? Semantic differential scale. So, questionnaires using semantic differential scale is the most reliable method to obtain information on respondents' emotional attitude towards a topic of interest. So, in order to check their emotional attitude about a particular topic, so this semantic differential method is applied. So, let us see differential scale question here. Which of the following categories best describes your last experience purchasing a product? So, my experience was very pleasant, somewhat pleasant, neither pleasant nor unpleasant, very unpleasant. So, like that the options will be given where the respondents have to answer. So, under this semantic differential scale, you will have an option, one is positive as well as one is negative, like satisfied, unsatisfied, agree, disagree, yes, no, such type of answer. Whereas in differential scale option, so it will be according to the opinion here, very pleasant, in the sense he is very satisfied about it. Next, somewhat pleasant, he is okay about it. Next, neither pleasant nor unpleasant. So, he is not confirm about whether it is pleasant or not pleasant. Next, very unpleasant. So, such type of opinions can be given through these scales. Next, benefit of semantic differential method. So, under semantic differential method, one would be positive, one would be negative, so that the respondent can give the direct answers. So, behavior can be easily and effectively studied by a large number of models. So, they can easily represent. So, in order to see the satisfaction or in order to know the opinion of the respondent, such type of scales are used. Behaviors can be measured directionally and judicially. So, it is very easy to know the opinion about the respondent in order to measure the respondent's opinion. So, it helps to elaborate depiction of the meaning of the object, and the next benefit is that it is standardized technique and worth repeating. So, it is one of the standardized technique which is used in the research field. So, these are the few benefits of semantic differential method. Next one is staple scale. Now, let us see what is this staple scale. So, this scale is used as an alternative to semantic measurement. So, it is an alternative for semantic measurement. In this method, a single characteristic is used for each rate, that is determined each object. So, here what they are going to do, a single characteristic is used for each rate determined object. The respondent is requested to select the numerical response. Now, they are going to select the numerical response format and specify the material. The impact is that higher the number of positive points, the better is the description of the subject. Now, how they are going to do this? Now, see this table here, adopting modern technology. Now, how they are going to give the option? Here there is very good, +2, +1. So, if the respondent is more satisfied, then +2. Okay. So, very poor. So, how much poor it is? If it is -2, in the sense it is very poor. So, if it is -1, so little bit okay. So, like that they are going to give the options. So, product innovation. So, if it is very good, here also +2, +1. This indicates the opinion about good. So, how much good it is. In the same way here -1 and -2, which indicates how much poor it is. So, that is known as what? Staple scale. So, hope you are clear with this. So, here for each and every option, so they will give like this, that is plus 2 in the sense it is very good. If it is more positive or more in number, then it is too positive. If it is minus, in terms of minus, it is very negative in number. So that is known as staple scale. Now coming to the next one, fixed sum scale. So a fixed sum scale is a type of question used in the marketing research survey. Most of the time all the scales, that is measurement and scaling techniques, has to be used in the marketing research, in which respondents are required to divide a specific number of points or percents as a part of the total sum. So how they are going to divide? That is fixed sum scale. They are going to divide a specific number of points or percents as a part of total sum. So the allocation of points are divided to detail the variance and weight of each category. In other words, the scaling techniques involve the assignment of fixed number of units to each attribute of the subject, reflecting the importance a respondent attaches to it. In the sense, here the measurement can be made in terms of fixed value. Suppose if there is 50 kg of rice in a particular bag, then this 50 kg is a fixed sum. Okay, so that is known as what? Fixed sum scale. So this 50 kg will always be a 50. So one bag in the sense what? 50 kg of rice. So it is fixed in nature. So this is just an example here. So fixed sum scale in the sense a thing will be fixed in nature. So depending upon that, the measurement has to be made. Now there are two bags. So which means what? 50 kg bags, that is 250 kg bags. So the total is 100 kgs. So that is known as what? Fixed sum scale. So hope you learned all the various types of scaling techniques. Very important question. So in my next session, I am going to discuss about measurement of attitude. So this is a last concept in this particular unit, and I have already told you this is a quite lengthy unit. At the same time, you will get maximum question from this particular unit. So my dear students, hope you have understood today's session. See you all in my next session with a new topic. Till then, take care. Thank you.